So with our lovely Miss S, I was thinking we could go right into warming up a little bit. Oh, good. Did you find that one? Oh, she says no thanks. So we're going to do a little bit with some play again, get her in the groove. And then what we'll do is we'll go from there and we'll try working a little bit with that place or stay behavior too for her on that dog bed that you guys brought from home. So she and her boyfriends are doing a really nice job. So she and Bodie and Mr. Bernie, it's like the two B's, they're doing a really nice job playing together. So it's been really nice to have the three be able to, manage some wrestles and some playing together while in between practice. So this is really pretty. So obviously, as we know, our little lady is a very agile woman. And she's probably doing amazing in the confidence building class because it involves a lot of really fun stuff. So, but she's doing a real nice job with her play. Ready? You want to go get it? Are you already winded? She's like, oh my goodness, pooped out. Well, we can go right into working with our bed behavior if you're tired. I think it's all the extra wrestles. Oh, there we go, that she's been having with her friends. So maybe she's a little bit winded. So, but I know too, like I mentioned last week, she is in her first heat cycle. So she's turned into a big girl. But we may find too that's also why some of her responses and her function of sort of honing in were maybe not as fine-tuned as they can be. So I'm just going to grab her dog bed versus using the cot because that one she didn't really love as much. Here we go, cutie. I know you left your salmon snack over there. Go try it. Good job. She's like, maybe not. Oh, see, there's your dog bed. What a smart girl. Nice. So with our beautiful lady, when we're warming up, sometimes I do find, like we've mentioned in the past, is warm up with some movement skills first to get some of that energy out. She is a very high drive kind of gal, which is awesome. A lot of fun with her. But we want to, oh, good, she's now going for the big one. Good job, ma'am. So, but we want to at times, if let's say she just woke from a nap or she hasn't had some of those needs met, sometimes asking your babe to like go take a break can be even more challenging because they're either physically or mentally sort of a little bit revved. So because of that extra energy, working on stationary could be a little bit more challenging. So I find for the littles, I'm not saying to get them so overwhelmed or so tired that they get fatigued and they can't function and do sort of softer stationary skills. But we're going to see if we can get her into her little bed. Ready? Bed? She's like, I guess so. You want to go find him? Good job, cutie. So if in the beginning she's warming up with a little bit of luring her into the target, no big deal. She's like not sure if she likes some of the little tidbits. We'll see, because I did a little trail mix with some of her treats that you guys have. So there's her dog food and some of her freeze-dried snacks. And then there's some of the lovely cheese. I love how she's like, her caboose is like all the way on the little dog bed on the rim there. Good job, cutie. Ready? We'll do a little find it. Maybe get her up and wiggling. So sometimes with a couple little find it's a great way to almost take a pause from the skill you're working on, get them up to move, and then be able to come back to work on another little skill. I find that for a lot of the beauties, I'll just move her a little closer, is for a lot of the beauties, working on one task over and over, just like with us, can become a little bit challenging or boring. So I do like to keep the training where you can rotate through a couple different skills all within that session. So right here, we're just going to go ahead and feed a couple little moments while she's on her target bed. I didn't ask her to do a stay yet. I'm just going ahead and reinforcing the being on our spot. Nice job, cutie. Nice work. What a smart girl. So if let's say, for example, we were to start implementing, maybe we could try for a little sit. We'll see if we can get it. She's like, don't really feel like it. So there will be moments where she's either feeling ready to rumble or sometimes a little unsure, to when sometimes she goes from playing to then having to work on her skills like her other classmates. They're kind of like, where's my buddy at? So they do rotate and take breaks throughout the session. Ready? So she sometimes gets a little bit unsure as to where her buddies have gone, so she listens for them while they're sometimes playing in other sections. Good job. So let's say maybe we're going to try a little bit with a stationary stay, but maybe if let's say the downs or the sits are a little bit more challenging right now, we'll just start off with a stationary standing. So again, I'm just going to go ahead and feed several snacks. So I might go ahead and while she's almost done chewing that next one, tell her to stay, and then start implementing again feeding while in the spot. Nice. Some of these are very nice and stinky. Salmon or something fishy for sure. Maybe some whitefish and some salmon. Good job, cutie. What a cutie patootie. Yeah. So if let's say she's a little bit uncertain, we're just building again value in the target spot. Ready? Good job. Smart girl. Then we might say, all done. And then we can kind of get her off her target, but then no food is given for getting off of our place. So when working with our gorgeous stays, think about being stationary as the best part of it. So even if in the beginning she's not as fluid, so maybe she's feeling a little bit out of sorts, we may find that at least capturing those moments where she's on her target to build the value there. So we might go again, bed. Oh, that was a good burp. See if we can get her, bringing her back onto a little target spot. Yes, nice job. What a good girl. You're doing a very nice job, ma'am. Ready? So I might even bring her a little further onto the mat. You can see too that sometimes she's a little bit unsure. So again, not forcing the situation. I just want to build up some good comfort range while trying some of these novel things while here. And again, your babes are going to always, do things a little different depending on who's working with them. Remember that generalizing skills onto many different handlers can be a little bit more challenging. Most dogs start to associate the skill with the environment and with the person and the way they do things with the full behavior. So sometimes, rotating through a few different family members can actually make the process a little bit slower. Doesn't mean it can't be, again, attainable, but sometimes your pup might take a few extra steps to kind of figure out that everybody's doing the same thing. It's just some people might have a little bit of a different mannerism or different way they move around the pup. She's like, this is exhausting. Nice check-in. So maybe what we'll do is we'll go into working a little bit with some loose leash walking, give her a little break from that lovely bed exercise. Ready with me? She's like, I guess so. So tired already. They were doing some play in the snow as well because there's the yard that's fenced in, and they were having a real nice time working around in that some of the snow piles. Good job. Ready? Let's go. Nice. So every once in a while, I'm also capturing little moments where she looks up at me and does a little check-in. I figured I'd take her harness off because she's wearing her coat, and it was feeling, I think, like a little bulky. Ready? Sophie, come. Gorgeous. So we're just going to rotate a little bit through some loose leash walking with some really nice recall moments from our gorgeous lady over here. You're just going to follow me like a shadow. I know she's very good at that. Nice. Ready? Sophie. Good check-in. Good job. Ready? Let's go. And then too, guys, for your loose leash walking, even if the babe is a little bit behind or a little off to the side, as long as they're sort of engaged and they come in and out of the environment and check back in with you and there's no tension on gear, which I know right now, of course, there's no tension because she's off of her gear. But we may find, I know like in class we were working a bit with that longer lead. Ready, Sophie? Come. And the benefit again of that longer lead is it allows your gorgeous gal to go at her rate compared to our rate, which can be at times slower because they got their 4 little legs moving much quicker than our 2 legs. So there could be moments where our lady does a much better job getting to do sniffy walks for a moment and then with little check back in with you as well. Sophie, come. I know everybody's very intrigued by this. I'm pretty sure someone may have gone potty over there, not from this group, but a previous group. And they're all very intrigued by the odor over on that side. Ready? Oh, come here, cutie patootie. So if, let's say, ready, nice, what a good girl. If I had not had her attention when I asked the first time, you'll see like when I did it with Miss J too, same thing as if I lose the lovely ladies or the gentlemen, I always try to be proactive in their help. So if we tend to just constantly say the slogan or the cue word over and over while our babes are now, let's say, failing at something or not being responsive, you're losing the meaning behind the word, but you're also probably confusing them or finding that your language doesn't always have an association. So we tend to blab all the time, as you noticed, and not always does that information mean something to your puppy because, well, first off, they don't speak language the way we do. But also if there's no association with the word and the skill and then an association with like a reinforcement, the value behind that skill or word has very little meaning to them. Ready? Oh, you want to do it? Find it? You lost a piece there. So I'm going to warm up with a couple little find it's with some more recalls to me. So ready? Sophie, ready? Find it. Nice. And then Sophie, come. Such a good girl. Nice work. So smart. So this is, again, something you can do in and around your home out again, like if you're not familiar with sniff spots, sniffspot.com could be another great venue. I know I've mentioned it for some other students too, is where you can then pick and choose. There's like filters to it, so you can kind of screen for certain environments. Some of them are completely fenced in, some of them are large acreage. Some are also where there's the avoiding of hearing or seeing other dogs, which can be immensely beneficial if sometimes your babe is overwhelmed or easily distractible or flustered. And you can start to practice generalizing some of the skills you've been working on at home or in the yard, or even in your neighborhood if that's been going okay, to some of these newer venues. Sophie, come. Nice. What a smart girl. So, but if let's say there's moments where you completely lose her, more than not, I find the environment is what drives behavior. So when your babe, ready, Sophie, come. What a good girl. So when your babe is not doing well, it typically is either they don't understand the skill in front of them, what you're asking or presenting for them, or they haven't actually generalized those skills in different venues. And other times it's also very much so their comfort range. So if our dogs are, maybe going through their first heat, or they're going from puppyhood into adolescence, or the environment is very challenging, a lot of odor, lots of new sights and sounds, that could be enough to really throw off your babe. Ready? Find it. So we definitely want to make sure that we're taking into consideration those different elements. She's doing a really nice job though with these little recalls. Sophie, come. But you can tell she's getting tired because she's just kind of meandering / maybe barely trotting over. Ready? So we'll do a little bit with me. That's a smart girl. So you can also she's like, and I'm over the chicken. I think that's the chicken. So if you're practicing with your gorgeous gal, keep the training session short and sweet. So they're not going so long that, again, it gets very exhausting for her mentally or physically. She's very intrigued by the smells over now on this side instead. So since our babes do see their whole world through their sense of smell, not allowing them to explore the environment in which you're going to practice in can also be really hard on them. So imagine you went somewhere, and we use our eyeballs a lot. So if, let's say, you were being, again, escorted to this new environment, but then they blindfolded you and you were having to go for a hike, your comfort range and your feelings for safety may not be there. So the same thing for your dogs is they tend to see their world through their sniffer. So if, let's say, for example, we don't allow them to first get cozy with the environment they're going to practice in, it's almost like them walking in there blindfolded. So you'll have a lot more attention if you allow for like the first 10, 15, 20 minutes to explore the environment in which you're gonna practice in, and then try to hone in on some behaviors from there. Sophie, come. Nice. So I also try to choose moments where I think my puppy, are you full already? She's only got so much room in that cute little tummy of hers. So, but I try to pick moments where I think my babes are going to be successful. So if when she was over there sniffing the wall, she was too involved with the odor, I probably maybe wouldn't have gotten a great recall from that scenario. This doesn't mean you can't build into more dynamics or more difficult setups. But if your babe has barely worked, let's say, recalls in the home, how are they going to manage to do a beautiful recall in the woods with the real world scenario upon us? So always think, if you don't think they're going to manage the setup, don't bother asking. So if, let's say, I think, oh my gosh, she's going to be way too distracted, she smells like a chipmunk hole and her head is all the way in it, as opposed to me saying 15 recalls, I'm going to go all the way to my lovely little Miss S and then help her redirect by either collecting her up or moving her away from that harder environment. Too, maybe she needs to go out for another little potty break, but she did just recently go out too. Nice. Sophie, come. What a good girl. That was so pretty. Are you getting so full? She's like, lady, I just would rather do something else. Hi, cutie patootie. You'd all done. So when working with our gorgeous gal, nice job, my lovey, is if she prefers sometimes a little bit of some loveys or some engagement, feel free to rotate. So I know some folks ask me, couldn't I just tell my dog they're doing a good job? Or couldn't I just tell them what a good girl she is? Praise and touch can be really, really beneficial. But remember, they're the ones that decide what is reinforcing. So me saying, oh, my dog did such a great job sitting, I'm just going to pat him. Some babes actually don't love touch, and they actually get a little flustered. Are you trying to wrestle? So there could be moments where when they do engage with you, allow them to engage, but if they don't really continue and they move away, it only means whatever we were doing was not really something they found that intriguing. So this ability to give your puppy some consent and have a say in continuing or outing for that relationship can be beneficial. So just like with us, if we have grandma who loves to come visit us, but she pinches cheeks, you might still really enjoy grandma, but you don't love the way she comes and says hi, which is, again, by assaulting your face. So same thing for our puppies. There are things that are behaviorally normal for us, but not typical for their relations or their hellos. So like hugs and some of these other things can be really sometimes overwhelming for a lot of dogs. So we'll do another little find it. And this doesn't mean you can't condition a babe to feeling comfortable doing certain tasks, but there's many dogs that do actually show some stress signals while they're being handled or sort of hugged or kind of squeezed on. Ready? Sophie, come. Good girl. I know, we're almost done. She's doing a real good job. But when working through some of these skills, if you're trying to implement a little bit more with her targeting and it's not going as well, try to do little mini sessions where she might find that much more attainable than bigger durations. If we expend some energy first, just like we do with some of the youngers or some of the more eager boys and girls, we may find that getting some energy out allows us to have the body and mind be a little softer. And this doesn't mean get exhausted and then you have no baby in front of you. But you also want to make sure, oh, maybe we do have to go to the restroom, or she's checking out my gate. She's like, maybe that smells nice also. So, but for little Miss Ash, she's doing a really gorgeous job. I'll probably give her a little break, have her sneak out for a little potty, and then we'll keep working some more skills. But she's really doing stellar with her behaviors.